What up, guys? Your boy Just King Zere. Welcome back to the Just King Zere podcast. And yeah, man, on this video, we're gonna be taking a look back to what has caused Iran and America, and as well as Israel, to go on this. Some may call it a war or a battle, whereby, yeah, missiles are being thrown, which now recently has ended up in the killing of the supreme leader of Iran, um, who died after the attack, missile attacks in Iran by America, USA, and Israel. You know, what you should understand is that this has been going on for a while. So in terms of like the history, it's a bit deep. And I just thought I should go a little bit into it. I might not go that deep to completely deep, but I'm gonna go into it. So before we get into it, you know the drill, guys. Let's get this channel over 1K subscribers. We are currently at 882 subscribers. Please, if you like my content, a lot of you watch the content, but you don't subscribe. Please subscribe to the channel so that the platform can grow and we can reach milestones and we can do more content. So if you like this channel, I don't see any reason why you shouldn't subscribe. Anyways, let's get straight into it. Iran is a country that discovered oil in the early 20th century. For those who don't know, 20th century, the 1900s. So early in the 1900s, oil was discovered, and then when it was discovered, America and Britain quickly jumped at the opportunity and worked with Iran to get that oil and get that oil from Iran, and through their company, was able to, I believe it's called B something, yeah. So that company was working there and extracting the oil, and but unfortunately, as much as Iran was getting money and whatever, getting the end of the deal, but they were getting a shorter end of the deal because America now was Britain were the ones literally just, oh, you found something, no, I'll do it for you, So that resulted in a lot of money being made by America, USA. When I say America, I'm talking about USA, and Britain, So at a certain point, Iranians started seeing that they're actually losing a lot of money, and they wanted to be the ones who control, what is happening there. They want to be the ones getting the biggest end of the deal, So a man by the name of Mohammed, let me just check. A man by the name of Mohammed Mossadegh, started to challenge this thing. He started to challenge it and saying that Iran needs to be the biggest benefactor, of this whole entire thing. That America is getting all the benefits as well as Britain. And he managed to get a lot of support. In order to challenge these things. Sorry, I'm just reading some of the notes that I put in here. USA and Iran used to be allies. I'll get deeper into that. They used to be allies, and that's like one of the beginnings of them being allies, where USA used to extract gold, oil. They used to extract oil as well as Britain. There was a fairly good relationship, and then until this point whereby Mossadegh decided to challenge, and then he eventually won. He eventually won, and he came into power. And then nationalized the oil. He nationalized the oil, and at that point, in him nationalizing the oil, they were able to take control of the oil and do everything, and get the USA out, of being the biggest benefactor and all of that. So now they were in power in a way that they could control what actually happens to the oil. And this thing could be happening at their own, whatever it is that they saw fit. So as we go forward, came into power, nationalized. He nationalized in 1951. That was 1951, where he nationalized and came into power. Then what happened? For 2 years straight, the USA and Britain boycotted Iran and Mossadegh, and and stopped buying oil and trading with them. Basically, they sanctioned. Can I call it sanctioned? But they boycotted, and Iran was unable to sell its oil. It was unable to get its oil where its oil needed to be, and that resulted in an economic crash. Like they were not, it was not successful what they wanted to do. So can you call it a sabotage? But it is what it is. So that's what happened, and Iran was in trouble. Economically, and this happened for 2 years. And then the exports collapsed. There was a collapse. Basically, that's what I'm saying. That's what I wrote here in the notes. Then USA and Britain organized, a coup to push Mohammed Mossadegh out. And this happened in 1953. Crazy, right? Now, American companies then took back, were able to get back to a point where they control the oil, with the new leader that they had put in after the successful coup, So the USA was playing in the background. And as we move forward, USA-backed leader Mohammed Pahlavi. In South Africa, we could call it Pahlavi because it has an H. Pahlavi. I'll just call him Pahlavi. I believe he was part of the Shah. Was it the Shah? They call it the Shah, which is a group of, I think it's a family or what, I'm not mistaken. Please excuse me if I'm not mentioning completely, but they call him the Shah. And the guy is called Mohammed Pahlavi, and then he was the leader, and when he was the leader, the westernized ideas started to, he was a lover of Western ideas, and he supported the West, and he brought a lot of development into the country. Like the country started developing, there was a lot of infrastructure, development, the country was built, it was all of that. It was, the infrastructure was built during this time, And then after that, they were allies with the USA. The USA was with the guy, and maybe that's why there was a lot of peace. Maybe I can say peace, but things were allowed, because if you look at when the USA was involved, or directly or whatever, or not directly, but during a time where there's a resistance to the US, then the economy was not doing well because sanctions and boycotts and all of that. So what I'll say again now is that in 1979, that's what they call the Iranian Revolution. So when there was this revolution, before that, the population of Iran was very dissatisfied with the Shah, with Mohammed Pahlavi, because they were pushing Western ideas. The country had become westernized, and they wanted the Islam, they wanted their Islam leaders and whatever. And there was a guy who was in exile, and he returned to the country, and his name, of course, Ayatollah, yeah, I can't, Khomeini. Sorry, I can't, I didn't write the name correctly, but I'll just say Ayatollah for now. And then that's when he established the Islamic Republic. He established the Islamic Republic, and that was that. That's what they call the revolution. And we started to see them really now pushing their Islam ideas, and with an Islamic, leader, supreme leader. So 1979, the revolution became sharp. Yeah, so I was saying 1979, the revolution became, and then something happened after that. Iranians held people at the USA embassy, hostage for a whole entire year. So there were big tensions there, and after that, America responded, and America sanctioned Iran, including oil. If you know America, they can sanction you, they can release sanctions, they can sanction you. So this time, after that, the whole thing, they sanctioned Iran big time. After that, but they did even worse. So let me tell you what they did worse. So Iraq's leader, one of, if you guys know Saddam Hussein, he wanted to challenge Iran, and he wanted to take over Iran because he believed, he was actually not impressed. He was worried about the Islam, that they were pushing there, the Islamic Republic, they were pushing in Iran. And now he wanted to challenge them, and he was threatened by it, and he wanted to, he thought they were weak, and they could easily take over them. That's what he thought, and then that's when he waged war. He waged war to Iran, or he invaded Iran. And then after that, the USA, here's what happened. The USA backed Iraq and Saddam Hussein to do these things. They gave them logistical support, weapons, everything. How the USA does. So that's what they did. And this led to, the battle or the war or whatever lasted for a whole entire 8 years. 8 years. Iraq versus Iran. So it seems that Iran was never having peace. Was never having peace. So America was collaborating with Iraq. So what then happened is that this resulted in 500,000 people dying from that war. 500,000 people died in that war. So then after that, USA killed 290 people, saying that they mistook a plane or whatever for a fighter jet, fighter, aircraft, and then they killed Iranians. So after that, Iran then started supporting what would be called the Axis, which also includes Hamas. Understand? So, which America would later, people would say that those are terrorists, and Iran is in support of terrorists, and those are things that are up there in that area, Persian area, and all that, what they call it, So that's what happened, and then what later happened as we move on is that the USA further sanctioned, because of this, further sanctioned Iran, saying that Iran are in support of terrorists and terrorist groups and all of that. Then after that, there was a time where USA reduced the sanctions, So they reduced a little bit of the sanctions. But then when Trump came into power, Trump, brought back the sanctions, He was talking about Iran and all of that, but he brought back the sanctions, for, I think we'll get into that in another video, but yeah, that's what happened. I'm just giving you guys a timeline. Then in 2019, USA accused Iran of building nuclear weapons, in non-regulatory or in a way that they would deem to be dangerous and not from a good point of view, So that was done, and then when that was done, in 2020, the top general commander was killed by USA drone strike when he was in I think he was in Iraq or something, but the USA killed him, with a drone strike. In 2023, Palestine, Hamas, attacked, Israel, and that led to a war. They unalived a lot of people, and then Israel started retaliating, and we all remember that war between the two. Let me just set up the camera a little bit better. Yeah. And then that's how that war started, whereby a lot of children were unalived, a lot of, it was very brutal, This was in 2023. And then in 2025, the UN said that Iran was breaching the rules. They are producing nuclear. That's what they were saying. So that thing that Trump was saying is becoming a continuous narrative to say that they are producing, nuclear. So what later happened now is that Israel, then attacked Iran to attempt to attack, as well as the USA as well. We all remember that, where they attempted to destroy the nuclear plants. They attempted to destroy the nuclear plants, and that was that. I believe some people were unalived there and all of that, and so this whole thing of Iran producing nuclear weapons, we saw Trump, launching the attack as well, and there was a back and forth, Israel, America, and launching attacks on Iran to what they call the nuclear plants, where scientists were working, and so now we move on. Then UN sanctioned Iran over the nuclear claims, the nuclear allegations. They sanctioned Iran. And then from there, the population of Iran started protesting. Some were even saying that they want the Shah to continue. The son of those guys, I'm not sure, I didn't go too deep into it, but remember the guy that was in cahoots with the USA, they wanted that family to take over, They didn't want this supreme leader to continue, But that's all fine and well, but the problem is, the the government or the leadership of Iran started killing the protesters. They started killing and killing and killing the protesters, and that's when some things happen, you know. So let's go forward. Let me just go to the next page. So what later happened now is that Trump, let me just see, Trump started fighting for the protesters. You know, that's how now you see Trump always talking about, hey, they don't want you guys, or the leader of Iran, excuse me, the leader of Iran is not this and that and whatever. So now, after all of that, I remember there was also a time where I think Iran, I could be wrong, strike back at America, and then America was able to use I think the Goliath sling or whatever to intercept the missiles, you know. I remember that. I didn't include that in my research, but I think it's just something that's coming back. You guys can further educate me there in the comments. And then from there, guess what? 2026, Trump, Israel, they launch an attack, missile attack, you know, missile attack whereby now they bombed, you know, Iran and ended up unaliving or killing, you know. They ended up killing the leader, the supreme leader. I believe his name is Ayatollah of Iran. And it was announced that he had died. You know, so that is just a quick history. We will go further into it as time goes on. But I hope you guys got the history. Anyways, your boy Just King Zeri signing out.